Coming up today on Good Morning BU, a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is still uncertain after Israel launched strikes on Lebanon yesterday.
And eligible men in the U.S. will begin to be registered for the military draft in December.
NASA's Artemis II mission is wrapping up after launching earlier this month.
While our interview correspondent talks to one woman running the Boston Marathon to raise money for cancer research.
And stay tuned for an interview with the winner of this year's Battle of the Bands.
Live from Studio West in the College of Communication, Good Morning BU starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Good Morning BU. I'm Claire Chen.
And I'm George Lehman. Here are today's top stories. The ceasefire deal between the United States and Iran wavered yesterday after Israel launched attacks on Lebanon, killing hundreds. Iran said the strikes were a violation of the deal, while the U.S. and Israel denied that Lebanon was included in those talks. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel still has, quote, more goals to complete.
More goals to complete, and we will complete them. We will achieve them, either with agreement or with renewing the war.
Israel's chief foreign policy advisor refused to say that the country was scaling back its military operation in Beirut, despite calls from President Trump in efforts to secure the deal with Iran. Vice President J.D. Vance called the confusion over Lebanon a, quote, legitimate misunderstanding, and that Iran would be dumb to let the deal collapse over it.
I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case. What we said is that the ceasefire would be focused on Iran, and the ceasefire would be focused on America's allies, both Israel and the Gulf Arab states.
And Vance will be leading a team in peace talks in Pakistan later today. Iran has also warned of strong military action in response to Israel's attacks and has yet to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
This December, the U.S. will begin automatically registering names for the military draft, citing declining registration as the reason. Since 1980, eligible men were required to sign themselves up, but now the Selective Service System, an executive branch agency, will do it for them. The nationwide measure has no connection to the ongoing war with Iran and was passed with bipartisan support months before the conflict. Trump would need congressional approval to enact a draft, which last happened during the Vietnam War.
History is being made tonight at NASA's Artemis II mission comes to a close. The four-person crew that includes astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen are set to splash down off the coast of San Diego this evening after taking flight on April 1st. As the crew begins re-entry to Earth, the ship's Orion capsule will separate from the larger part of the spacecraft, which has been supplying the astronauts with power and supplies for the past 10 days. Then, at around 8 p.m. tonight, the capsule will begin its 13-minute plunge through the atmosphere. During that time, the crew is expected to lose contact with mission control for about 6 minutes. And after emerging from a blackout, a series of parachutes will deploy, slowing the capsule for a safe splashdown in the Pacific.
Back here on Earth, runners around the globe are preparing for their own mission. That's right, the 130th Boston Marathon takes place next weekend, and our interview correspondent Gabrielle Suede is here to tell us more about it.
It started with a simple conversation at 30,000 feet.
I know I really wanted to run the Boston Marathon. It's been a life goal. And so I threw in an application to Dana-Farber. Honestly, about a week later, I was on a flight and the man sitting next to me had a Boston Marathon Dana-Farber sticker on his laptop. So I sort of sparked up some conversation and we ended up talking with his flight. He took my name and my email, and then probably about a month later, I got an email saying that I'd been accepted to run the Boston Marathon with Dana-Farber.
At the time, she says, applying felt like a long shot, but running has always been a part of her life, eventually becoming both a passion and an outlet here in Boston.
I mean, I sort of fell in love with running there for sure, especially in Boston or along with Charles. It's like such a beautiful spot to run. And over time, I guess it just became a big outlet for me for stress and just a great way to be outdoors and be active.
Now, she's balancing early morning training runs with life as a Boston University student, while also raising money for Dana-Farber.
I'm hopefully going for $13,100, so $500 for every mile that I'll run.
She says committing to a marathon wasn't easy, but pushing past that doubt has made the journey even more meaningful.
Signing up for a marathon was a really daunting thing for me to do. I knew I'd always wanted to do it, and I knew I really wanted to do it at some point in my life, but I was sort of scared of that commitment, and I was doubting whether I could actually do it.
Now, with race day approaching, she's about to fulfill a promise she made to herself years ago.
Trust your training, and sort of just focus on yourself. You don't have to look at what everyone else is doing, how fast they're running, how their training's going. Just trust yourself and do it for you.
Thanks, Gabrielle. And BU spokesperson Colin Riley is retiring on Friday, April 3rd. Riley, who has been with the university since 1991, said he prides himself on framing the truth in an affirmative light. As a spokesman for BU, he has worked with publications like the New York Times and has prepared student journalists for real-world experiences.
BU's College of Communication held its 41st annual Redstone Film Festival last Friday, where student film Si Solamente took home the first place prize. Directed by Kerlin Campos and produced by Sofia Gonzalez Irigoyen, Si Solamente tells the story of an immigrant family working to stay together under the threat of immigration and customs enforcement officers. The film swept the award festival, taking home many other honors, including Best Screenplay and Best Editing. Second place went to All I See Is Gray, a film on a Black veteran family, and third place went to Lola, which tells the tale of a young man discovering his uncle died of AIDS. Now, stay with us until after the break, while we will unpack President Gilliam's recent email regarding outward-facing flags on campus.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
It's important to get a flu shot each and every year because flu viruses are constantly changing and immunity from the vaccine decreases over time. Flu vaccines are updated annually to work against that year's viruses. The best time to get your shot is in the fall, but getting it later can still help. Getting a flu shot lowers your risk of getting sick, and if you do happen to get flu, it's likely to be less severe.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Welcome back. On Monday afternoon, President Gilliam sent an email to the student body titled, "Let Us Pause." Now, our correspondent Caitlin Danis is here on campus to tell us more about what it said. Caitlin, over to you.
Thanks, Claire. I'm standing in front of the Women, Gender, and Sexualities offices at BU, where these flags have been the source of growing controversy over the past few weeks now. BU President Melissa Gilliam announced at a town hall meeting on Monday that there's going to be a temporary pause to the ban of outward-facing signage here at BU. This is the same policy that led pride flags to be taken down over spring break. The decision comes after weeks of backlash over how the policy has been implemented on campus, and a shift from earlier this week when the university said it would continue enforcing the rule. Gilliam also issued an apology saying that she is, quote, deeply sorry for the harm caused to the LGBTQIA+ community. She says the university needs more time to review the policy.
Thanks, Caitlin. Now, do you have any ideas on how this policy will evolve moving forward?
Yeah, Claire, right now the university is saying that this is going to be a temporary pause. However, officials are also saying that this policy is actively in review. Therefore, the key question is going to be whether or not this will become more permanent.
And how significant is this pause?
This is significant, Claire. It follows weeks of controversy, including a petition that garnered thousands of signatures. The university's decision to step back suggests that this has gained substantial momentum.
Thanks, Caitlin. And finally, what has the reaction been like on campus so far?
Well, Claire, reactions have. Some students are saying that this is a step in the right direction after weeks of advocacy, while others are saying that a temporary ban is not going far enough and are waiting for something that is more permanent.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, for the update. We'll now hear from politics correspondent Catherine Markello, who spoke to Bostonians about rent control on the Massachusetts ballot.
While Boston has no shortage of charm, it also has one of the most expensive and competitive rental markets in the country. A proposed ballot question this fall could help stabilize rent for Boston tenants, including BU students living off campus.
We're broke college students. We either don't have money or we have our parents to help us pay for rent.
With this proposal, rent increases would be capped at 5%, or the rate of inflation that year, whichever is lower. This means for students who pay, say, $3,000 a month, the rent cannot increase by more than $150 a year. Supporters, including Mayor Wu, say rent control could keep housing affordable. But Boston real estate agent Christopher Spagnolo told Good Morning BU it doesn't address other rising costs, like taxes and utilities. U.S. News & World Report says approximately 34% of BU students live off campus, but this doesn't mean they will renew their leases after graduation.
Rent definitely plays a part in whether or not I'm going to stay. Boston's already expensive enough, and the rent adds a completely additional factor to the cost of living here.
If the proposal is approved by state lawmakers, it could appear on the November 2026 ballot, helping out BU students with the cost of living here in Boston. For Good Morning BU, I'm Catherine Markello.
Thanks, Catherine. Stay tuned after this break to hear from the winner of BU's recent Battle of the Bands.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. Are you ready to rock? If not, don't worry, because we have someone here who is. Elena, over to you.
Thanks, George, and thank you, Enrico, for joining us. Now, obviously, performing in the Battle of the Bands is a huge undertaking. Picking the songs, picking who you're going to perform alongside with. Can you give us a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look into what it was like preparing for this event?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me here today. Going into the preparation for Battle of the Bands, it just started with my friends and I who formed a band together last semester, and I think when we got the sign up to put our names forward, there was no one else that I'd rather do it with, and so we put aside time every week, twice a week, and we worked hard to get where we were to win, and that was all the preparation we went.
And when you stepped on that stage during the Battle of the Bands event, what went through your head as you saw a crowd of BU students cheering you on?
I was really nervous, but I think talking to my band and realizing that these are my peers, this was the best time for me to step into myself and just do my thing, I guess, in the most simple way possible. And I really tried to engage with the crowd, engage with the audience, and put myself above everyone else. And I think it turned out great.
Yeah, definitely did. And speaking a little bit more broadly, what was your inspiration behind starting writing music and performing in the first place?
So I started writing music when I was 18. It was during COVID, and my dad got me a microphone and a mixing box. And it started out with simple SoundCloud covers, and then eventually turned into a place for me to write about my experiences, my alopecia, the way I was dealing with everything, and it just became an outlet for me to express myself. And then 2023, I put out my first song on Spotify and Apple Music, and I think from there it's just been something I don't see my life without.
And then speaking back here on campus, what does it mean that BU gave an opportunity for student musicians like you and everyone else who performed at the event, this opportunity to open potentially for a really big artist?
I think it's super empowering, especially being so close to a school like Berkeley, where you know that it's kind of like the norm. Here at BU, I think it's really inspiring to see that the student body is pushing for more student representation in the arts and in music, and I think it inspires people like myself or people who are joining the school that they can try everything and they can do anything they want. And music is just an amazing way to express yourself.
And speaking of that big headlining artist, the spring concert is coming up soon.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you and your band in terms of preparation for opening for a huge artist like Zara Larsson?
This is definitely like a big dream of mine, especially taking a stage on Agganis, but more so for my band and I think we're trying to remember that at the end of the day, we're putting in our best work, and we have to know that all the preparation that goes into it, it's going to pay off really well, and I'm super, super excited to play with my band.
Well, thank you. I actually heard that you brought in your guitar for us today. I also heard that you write all your original music. So I was wondering if you would be able to play us an original song.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I have my guitar right here. And this song is, it's called See You Later. It's off my new EP that's coming out sometime in the summer.
Awesome, thank you. I can't wait to hear it.
Hope that every goodbye gets a little bit longer, so I can spend some more of my time with you, if that's alright with you. Oh, hope that my days feel a little bit older, so I can go crazy with you, if that's okay with you. Oh, I know that it's hard to see, to feel, to be the same when we're so far away. There's no simple type of remedy to ease the pain. See you later. In a while, we'll be back together in the blink of an eye. I'll see you later. It's not goodbye. We'll be back skin to skin in no time. I'll see you later, baby. Hold on to my arm, patient. You know I'll take you places you ain't been before. 'Cause you know I need you, baby. I'm not afraid no more. You know I want you, and I think that you're the one I want.
Well, thank you very much. I can't wait to hear more on May 3rd.
Thank you for having me.
Now we're going to toss back to break.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Now, I know BU hockey season is over, but we're in New England, and there's always hockey to watch. Right, Hannah?
Yeah, Claire, the Fleet, Boston's professional women's hockey team, are headed to TD Garden on Saturday, where they will take on the Montreal Victoire in front of a sold-out crowd. They'll be the first PWHL team to skate at the Garden, which has a capacity of over 17,000. Now, the Victoire and Fleet are neck and neck in the standings at first and second, respectively, so this game carries some serious weight. On the Victoire side, I have to shout out BU women's hockey alum Marie-Philippe Poulin. Philippe Poulin is one of the most successful Terrier hockey alumni to come out of Com Ave. She's held the captaincy position for Team Canada since 2015 and made major strides at the Olympics, where she helped Canada win the silver medal. She currently leads Montreal with 9 goals. As for Boston, I'm sticking with the Olympic theme. Goalie Erin Frankel, who backstopped Team USA to a gold medal, is set to start, and she enters Saturday with a staggering .955 save percentage. On the blue line, defenseman Megan Keller, who you may know for notching the overtime goal winner for Team USA, is tied for Boston in terms of points with 18, 7 goals and 11 assists. These are some extremely impressive stats to be putting up as a defender, showing her duality as a 200-foot player. In this post-Olympic world, the PWHL is making strides almost every single game, bringing more attention to women's hockey. Just last week, New York Sirens and the Seattle Current broke records at Madison Square Garden for women's hockey once again. Regardless of the outcome, this game at TD has the potential to set records for Boston. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. with streaming available on NESN. Now I'm going to ice it back to the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. Definitely have to tune into one of those games at some point too, but I know we're heading into the weekend. Claire, do you have any plans on the docket for this weekend?
Actually, yes. I'm taking a trip to New York on Saturday,
nice.
So going out of town. Yeah.
Seeing any friends, family, or?
Yes, seeing a friend.
Nice.
How about you?
Probably staying here in Boston, but I don't have any plans on the radar, but I know our reporter, Caitlin, in studio does have some updates and plans for those of us who are staying in town this weekend, along with some updates on the tee. Caitlin, what can you tell us?
Yeah, George, and I'm here to help you out if you're still figuring out your weekend plans. But first, we've got some updates along the Green Line service. Service will be shut down between Boston College and Copley from April 22nd through the 30th. The MBTA has said the reason for the shutdown is to make infrastructure updates. Shuttle service will run to supplement. To make the most of this weekend before the shutdown, here's some events along the Green Line. This weekend, this Friday at the Museum of Fine Arts stop, the MFA will host College Night. Students will be able to make art, see the exhibits, and enjoy a photo booth. At Blandford Street, BU Fashion and Retail Association will be presenting their Spring 2026 fashion show, Beneath the Celestial Sky, Zodiacs in Orbit. The show will be Saturday, 4:30 to 7 p.m. in the Metcalf Ballroom, showcasing student design collections. Lastly, at BU Central, One Love at BU will host a book and toiletries drive for Rosie's Place, a community center and shelter for women. That's all I have for you today, and hopefully I've given everyone some inspiration for their weekend plans. Now, back to the desk.
Thanks, Caitlin. I think since I'll be in town, I might have to stop by the Museum of Fine Arts because I know the weather is going to be nice this weekend. Finally, it's starting to warm up a bit.
I know, it's so exciting. It's perfect for all those weekend plans.
For sure, no rain, no snow. Hopefully things don't change, but it
Fingers
seems like,
crossed.
right, I was going to say, but it seems like it'll be a good plan. But I think I've heard it's supposed to be as hot as LA. I'm not a meteorologist myself, so don't quote that, but that's what I've been hearing. Have you heard the same thing?
I'm not sure, but if that's true, I am very excited. Looking forward to that.
Me too. Hopefully get a nice tan going into next month. But I think that's going to do it for us this week at Good Morning BU. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm George Lehman.
And I'm Claire Chen. Stay safe and have a great weekend.
Best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first